Can't believe summer's flying by.
Yeah, school's about to start. Seasons are about to begin.
Yep. I hear people talking all the time about they're reporting back to campus next week. So that means our time down is off, and it's time to get back into the swing of things. So thanks for tuning in to Suite 301. This is our monthly webcast where we talk about all things Colt Club sports, touch base on all the leagues. We'll get a little basketball, football, softball, and baseball content for you, and hopefully you're willing to chime in.
Yeah, show's interactive. Call in 412-321-8440, extension 100. No matter what sport you are, we'd love to talk to you, talk some updates, talk about your upcoming season, all that good stuff. The show is interactive. Get the chat box on the right. Submit a question, submit a comment, suggestion, recommendation, whatever you'd like to do. And lastly, follow us on Facebook and Twitter for all updates, stuff coming up on the show and everything like that. So
absolutely. Well, let's get started, and let's kick off with a little bit of the marketing sponsorship department. Eric, what do we got in terms of talk to us about equipment forums and some of the fundraisers and stuff that's available out there for teams that are just getting back to campus?
The equipment forums are first and foremost the big things right now. I know Craig Budzik in our office has sent them out to the softball and baseball teams. Rob's got you on the football corner with all those footballs, and then he'll also be sending out the basketball forums in the next couple of weeks. For baseball, D1, you want to get your bats, you want to get your baseballs, you want to get your helmets, your catcher's gear. D2, you want to get your bats, you want to get your baseballs, all stuff you need for your games, especially the baseballs. You're required to use them in the games, so you want to get those order forms into Craig and Rob as soon as possible so we can get that stuff going.
And these are comp goods. I mean, we're not asking you to pay for them. It's part of their sponsorships with part of league membership.
Exactly.
So,
it's free stuff. The form takes literally 2 minutes to fill out. Just put your address, your name, your team name. Get it back to these guys, and they'll submit it off to the respective companies for you guys to get your stuff. As far as softball, the 2 dozen softballs, obviously you need those in your games as well. Got to be compliant with the rule book, play with the softballs, official, Worth, NCSA softballs. So you need those. Get those into Craig. He'll submit those off so you can get those within the week or two.
And one of the, I think some teams procrastinate on getting these things turned in. They're like, we don't need our baseballs right now. We don't need our catcher's gear right now. We'll just wait. One of the risks you run by doing that is, if everybody wants helmet XYZ and scarlet red, by the time you put your order in, there might be back order, and you might be waiting. So
first come, first serve on a lot of that stuff. And no matter if you're not even playing games this fall, you want to practice. You want to use the baseballs. The pitchers want to hold them. Same thing for softball. You want some more BP balls. You want to use the bats in the practices. You your footballs, whatever it may be. Get your stuff ASAP so you can get acclimated to it.
Absolutely. Now, in addition to our many equipment and apparel sponsors, we've got some great fundraising groups that Colt Club Sports partners with. As one of our goals is to help teams raise money as well. Talk to me about those fundraising opportunities.
Yeah, we got the two big ones, Pledge It and Fundraiser, and feel free to chime in because I know you're a big advocate of both. Fundraiser is real easy. It's great. It's basically an online donation. You set it up all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, email, whatever you'd like. Basically put a nice big picture on front, say, hey, we are Penn State Club Baseball. We're looking to raise money for uniforms. And basically you just click on it and donate. It's really easy. It's by far the best platform. It's better than GoFundMe or My Sports Streams or anything like that. They take a larger cut. Fundraiser takes way less of a cut, so more money in your pocket at the end. And it's just it's nice because you can literally send it to everybody in different methods and everything like that.
And this is the modern day version of the fundraising letter where you ask for donations.
Exactly.
This is just done electronically over social media and email, etc. And you brought up a good point there about GoFundMe. A lot of people hear about GoFundMe. It's on Shark Tank. They talk about it here and there. Very comparable to GoFundMe, but like you said, the percentage of the funds raised, it's a higher percentage that stays in your pocket.
Exactly.
So we definitely are proud to be partnered with
Exactly. And then Pledge It as well. It's a performance-based fundraiser. And we're real excited about this. I know we brought this on board towards the end of last year, so it's probably pretty new to you guys, especially the new officers. I would definitely look into it. It's performance-based, like I was saying. So, it's great because you're going to get money, but also you want to do well on the field. So, for instance, Sandy's going to donate $5 for every run. Well, that'd be a lot. For every run Penn State scores. So basically you play the weekend, and Sandy puts his credit card information in the site, and then once they score their runs and they put it onto the site afterwards, the money's taken right out of his credit card. So it's great because you're making money, and at the same time you want to do well in your game, so it's performance-based and
I think
both ways.
I think it's an exciting partnership to have, a great way to fundraise, because it's the only fundraiser we've ever dealt with that was actually based on your performance on the field. And we're all here playing sports, whether it be basketball, football, softball, baseball. We're all about the sports, and it's club sports, so fundraising is a necessity. Yep. I love the way this is, tied together in that, and great group over there at Pledge It. And one of the things I like about both of these fundraisers we've promoted fundraisers for years. They're risk-free. There's zero chance of losing any money on this. It's not like where you got to buy $1,000 worth of candy bars in advance and sell them off at a profit. It's free. The other thing I like about it is it only takes one or two people to get the fundraiser started, to get it set up. It's not like you got to get the whole team together for hours at a time to do this fundraiser. One or two guys sitting around a computer.
It's minimal work.
Right. Work. It takes an hour, two guys. They can come up with a nice story about the team, find the good picture from last year, upload the team schedule to the campaign, and then you bring in all the other guys who aren't don't want to spend all that time in front of the computer. Now you get those guys involved with, hey, now you got to tweet this out to everybody Facebook it to everybody.
Share on Facebook.
Exactly.
Retweet.
Now it's become social media. Trying to make it go viral, and that's how you promote that. But you don't need all the guys on the team, all the freshmen, just to develop the campaign. You need them to push it. Mm-hmm. But it can be started with just one or two people.
Exactly.
All right. So these two, Fundraiser and Pledge It, how would they go about getting more information if our viewers out there want to get involved?
Well, yesterday we had a great new employee start, Dan Grassi, who you're going to meet later today. He's going to be the man for all fundraisers, all the smaller sponsor accounts. So he'll come on board here in a little bit. He'll tell you his contact information, and he'll be the immediate contact for setting up all the the fundraisers, the pledges, and all that good stuff.
All right, and you can always, in the meantime, info@colclubsports.com will get you to our main office, and we'll get your email directed in the right direction.
Plus, there's links all over the websites, too. You see pictures, click on it, get the press release. You can learn more about it.
Absolutely. All right. Excellent. Well, hopefully those of you viewing at home take advantage of these fundraisers and put some money in your team's pocket.
All right. Let's move on to the NCFA.
Football. It's football season, isn't it?
We are just a couple of weeks away here. What's coming up in the NCFA? What should players and fans be on the lookout for? It's
an exciting time. You can see it right now if you follow the NCFA Facebook group. The guys are starting to increase the chatter on there. Teams are, it's fun to watch them out there. They almost seek out a little smack talk. You see them put on the Facebook like, hey, I think the South Atlantic Conference is going to win the national title this year. What do you say about that North Atlantic Conference? Yeah. And they're starting to get that banter going. It's clean. It's good fun. But people are getting hyped about it, and the players are eager for the season to start. The next thing for those of you looking at home is going to be team previews. Team preview forms. Each team in the league fills out a preview form where they talk about guys on their team, who's returning, incoming freshmen, how they think their season's going to look compared to last year. They're going to go up, they're going to go down, get some coaches' perspective. So each of these teams fills out this survey about themselves and sends it into us by this Friday, and then we publish that out social media-wise. So we market all the teams and sort of give everybody a little forecast of what's going on with all the teams in the league. So that should be coming out. They're due this Friday, so early next week those will be coming out. Another big piece of those are good marketing materials for the voting panel that's going to vote on the preseason. So those preseason polls will be out like right around the 1st of the month, September 1st. So I know a lot of people are excited about that. They want to see who's going to be ranked number 1. They want to be able to say, look at this, we're playing the number 4 team in the nation, week 2, kind of stuff. So that's the exciting stuff that's really on the horizon. And it's just literally weeks, days away.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that real quick, the team previews are huge, and I know the same thing in football for all the other sports. That's the way you get your name out there. We don't know how many returning guys you got. Other teams don't know about you. So that's the way you want to, publicize your talent, brag a little bit, especially for the preseason polls. Make a name for yourself early.
Absolutely. And I believe we're going to be joined in. We've got some callers lined up. Who are going to be calling the show.
4 in a row here.
Yeah, we got some. It's preseason football, man.
All football,
correct? We got some football callers lined up, guys, presidents from around the league that were eager to chime in on how their team's looking, and they don't want to wait for the preseason poll to come out. They want to come on the show live today and talk about their programs and their quest to make it to the first ever NCFA playoffs.
Yeah.
And which is many of you at home know this will be the first year of that. So it should be exciting.
Yeah, 4 different teams. You get 4 different points of view. 4 different stories about. I'm sure they all have. Maybe some have a lot coming back. Some, maybe it's the same team as last year. And new schedules, new variables.
Some of them are a little sour about feeling like they're
100.
This is extension 106. There we go.
There we go. Oh, I think they're going to call your office line. 106.
All right, sorry about that, folks. We have a technical difficulty in our phone transferring process. But, yes, so we're going to get some perspectives here. And eager to talk about it because, there's teams out there that were left out of the mix the last couple of years, and the playoffs are going to ensure that doesn't happen. All right, I believe we're joined first on the phone by Nick Newsom. Nick, is that you?
Yes, Nick. How you doing?
Great. Nick's the president of Oakland Club Football. And, Nick, great to have you on the line with us, joining us today on Suite 301. As many of you at home know, Oakland is our reigning NCFA national champion. And, Nick, how's things over there in Oakland?
Things are doing pretty good. We've got a new head coach this year. We're practicing hard. Team chemistry's we're building it slowly but surely. Just working our butts off, getting ready.
Now, talk to us about. I know you had a coach that took you to a national championship last year, and now you've got a new coach in place. Talk to us about your new coach. Sort of introduce us to him, and what's different about his coaching style over Coach Pickney's.
Our new head coach is Jeff Aller. He was our linebacker coach last year. There's a little bit of background on him. He was a linebacker at Western Michigan University, which is a Division I program. He brings a lot to the table as far as his knowledge, what it takes to get our conditioning level up there. Just the mentality that goes behind it. How to push us. He also has a very good supporting cast as far as all his assistant coaches, everybody he's brought in. And yeah, they're doing a great job with us. Just pushing us and getting us to be the best we can.
Outstanding. Now, talk to us. You obviously had a national championship level squad last year. Who did you lose off that team, and who are your prominent returners that are coming back to defend the title?
We did lose the MVP from last year. His name is Brandon Tucker. That was a pretty significant loss, but we have gained a lot of talent. We did lose a couple guys from the offensive line, but they were replaced as well. And I think this year we have a lot more talent spread out, and we're, I think, much more equipped overall to repeat.
Now, okay, give me one name on the offensive side of the ball that's going to stand out to everybody.
The one name on the offensive side, I think, Malik Petaway, he was our running back last year. He got hurt, but I think he's going to be healthy this season. We also have got Joe Cox. He transferred into Oakland, and he is going to bring a lot to the table. We got new quarterbacks this year, a lot of new wide receivers, and yeah, we're really excited.
All right, now how about on the defensive side of the ball? Who's going to be the big playmaker over there?
Defensive side, we made a couple changes. We've gotten some new safeties, some new corners. A couple of guys moved from, one of our quicker guys from D-line last year. He's now a linebacker. For the most part, a lot of defense stayed the same as last year, though.
Excellent, and it was a great.
Just people moving around.
And it was a great defense. I mean, we got to see that. Very stingy at the national championship game, not giving up points or yards. So it was an outstanding defense to begin with. Now, talk to me a little bit about the mindset of this team compared to last year. Last year, you were a program chasing respect, chasing a national title. Now everybody's got the bullseye on your back. And how does the team prepare with the idea of we want to go get it again versus we got to go take it from somebody else?
Yeah, well, you kind of hit it on the head there. Last year we were fighting for respect every, one game at a time, and we thought we might have had that number one seed for the national championship after we beat RMU, but they still ended up there. And that's kind of where we thought that was. But this year, our first practice, our coach came and he brought a target with him to practice and said, this is what we got on our back, boys. We need to play hard every game. We need to practice hard. We need to build good habits in practice. And they're installing great work habits in us, and we're really working super hard right now. Everyone's in the weight room. Everyone's running on their free time. And I think we're well equipped to beat this year.
Outstanding. Now, you mentioned a little bit about, you defeated Robert Morris in the Great Lakes Conference Championship game last year, and then had the way the power rankings spit it out, you had to play them again for the national championship. This year is the first ever NCFA playoff system, which will ensure that doesn't happen again. So, winning the conference puts you into the playoffs, and losing the conference sends you home for the winner. How does this new playoff system affect your team's preparation for this year's run at a title?
Well, it's, being in the Great Lakes Conference, I think, we have one of the harder schedules. We have, with the new addition of Michigan State, I'm sure they're going to be a pretty good team this year. They're comprised of mainly our older coaches, Coach Manfroni, Coach Pickney. And then, Miami, Ohio, they're a heck of a team. Ohio State, all those teams, Wright State, they got a good ball team down there. It's tough beating those guys. But and then you got the West over there too with Robert Morris, and I think DePaul's over there now. University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. I do like the playoff setup, but it's you only get one game and you can't mess up. So it's
absolutely,
it's all or nothing.
Absolutely, it's going to be a fun ride, that's for sure. Well, Nick, we're out of time. We got to move on to our next guy, but we really appreciate you taking the time to call in, tell us about the Oakland program, and good stuff. We wish you the best of luck this year, and hopefully we'll see you in the playoffs.
Well, thank you very much. We look forward to a good season, competitive season, and hopefully another national championship.
Sounds good. All right, take care.
Yep, take it easy, Cindy.
All right, that was Nick Newsom, president of Oakland Club Football, defending national champion, excuse me. And as you hear, wow, that's quick. We're on to our next caller. So
move this puppy over if we could. Travis.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? This is Eric with the NCFA. How we doing?
Good, yourself?
I'm good. Sandy's sitting along next to me as well. We just want to catch up. For those watching at home, we have Travis Clark, Vermont Club Football President. How's the off season shaping up for you guys?
The off season is shaping up pretty well. We're moving into our first practice starting tomorrow. We're going to be handing out equipment, getting right into things in the evening practice. We just been spending a lot of time getting coordination through new players and current players to get housing for everyone, so we can get a good preseason going up in Vermont. We just ordered a bunch of new equipment, and we're excited for the season right now.
That's exciting stuff right there. Hey, any big-time rookies or returners that you want to give a shout-out to?
I would have to say Jack LeClaire. He's been our quarterback the last, I believe, 3 or 4 years. He tore his ACL last year after our first game midweek, and he had to miss the rest of the season. But he didn't get surgery, and he came into one of our playoff games, and he threw a touchdown pass, and it was really great moment for him. Like, he was just like, I can't walk away from football only playing 10 snaps after tearing my ACL. So he took the off season, got better, and he's going to be back this year for final year. He got his credits lined up so he can do it, and it's going to be an exciting time for him, I think.
That's a good story. How about on the defensive side of the ball? Anybody we should be looking out for?
Defensively, I think Griffin Commissary, he's up-and-coming star. He was an outside linebacker for us last year, but really a tenacious player, and he's just got a knack for the ball, I think. jumped over a couple players on blitzes, and it was very exciting to see him. And I think he's going to step up this year and be a real impact player.
Nice. So yeah, looking at you guys in the past, you guys have always been a team that's put up a lot of points on the board. Is that still going to be the case this year?
I think we're actually going to probably do more points every game. We've implemented some new stuff. We're going to go with a fast-paced offense, no huddle, a lot of signals, a lot of hand calls from the sideline, keep the defense on edge and not be able to change to our personnel. We think we can beat anyone on the outside with our wide receivers. We got a new and established running game that we want to pound the ball every game.
Fantastic. And I'm not sure if you guys were tuning in before to hear Sandy talk to Oakland University, but the past few years, the champion, we've had a different process in place. This year, all the conference champions are going to have a playoff system. Does that change anything for you guys going into this year?
Well, I know we have the national playoff at the end of the season where 4 teams get into it. Last year we finished 3rd in the nation and we missed the chance to play in the national championship. So we're hoping that if all goes well this year, we have a good conference record that we can be playing in the playoffs and hopefully for a national championship here.
Yeah, exactly. Does the process change the way you guys look at the outlook of the season? Is anything going to change this year?
I think we kind of changed our mentality last year. We at the end of the season we lost to Southwestern University, and they were really good, and we were just like it really bummed us down. We thought we had a chance, and I think with so many returning players, it started the day after that. This next season's going to be our chance to shine. We got so many great returning players. Really, really good news from recruits that are coming up, and we're just excited that hopefully we have a chance now that maybe 1 or 2 more teams get in there and gives us another shot to win it.
Exactly. And let's just touch base on your schedule real quick. Who do you guys open up against?
I believe we open against Central Connecticut University.
Do you guys have Sorry, go ahead.
We'll be going down to them this year.
And
last year they were sorry, go ahead.
And aside from that, I mean, do you have any other, big games on the radar that you guys have circled on the calendar or anything like that?
Well, we got Southwestern. Our 2 losses last year were both Southwestern. I think we really had them in our crosshairs. We've been preparing for them, and we hope now that we have them on our home field during the season that's going to be a big one. It's a night game. We're going to get our fans out there, and it's going to be a real big game for us.
Travis and Sandy, as your conference coordinator of the North Atlantic Conference, I'm a little, I've always been, a fan of the Vermont program, liked working with you guys and so forth, and I'm just excited to see what North Atlantic Conference football's going to get to do on the national stage. I mean, maybe it'll be Vermont, maybe it'll be another team from the conference, but one of the teams from North Atlantic Conference is going to be headed to the playoffs and competing against someone from another part of the country. So I'm real excited to see who it is that comes out of there. Best of luck to you guys and the rest of the Catamounts going for the conference title. But that's the thing I'm most excited about, is to see North Atlantic football compared to the rest of the country. And I'm excited for it.
Speechless.
Did we lose you? Did we lose you?
I guess we did.
I think we lost. That was Travis Clark from
Vermont Club Football.
That was Travis Clark from Vermont Club Football. Sorry we lost you there, Travis. Appreciate you taking the time to call us in. Talk to us about the Catamounts season coming up, and best of luck to you and your program. As I think they're going for their 4th North Atlantic Conference title.
It's an impressive feat in itself.
And if they achieve that, they're in the playoff system, and we'll get their opportunity on the field to earn their spot in the national championship game. So, good stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear a different point of view. You go from the reigning national champ to a team who's hungry, who hasn't been there, and it's always interesting to hear that. We got another call too.
Absolutely. All right, we are. Murad, is that you?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing really well. We're joined by Murad Muhammad, with president of Coppin State Club Football. Appreciate you taking the time to call into the show today.
Hey, man, not a problem at all.
Excellent. Now, Murad, is this your 4th year on the team?
It's my 5th year.
5th year on the team. Final, going out strong. The man's got 2 national championship rings on his hand as we speak right now, I'm sure. And last year you guys were left on the outside looking in of the national championship game. But with the new system in place, whoever wins the MAC, if it's you guys or someone else, is going to be in that playoff hunt. How's things shaping up for this season? What are you guys got any new players that are going to be big contributors to this season?
Yes, we have a lot of new players. We're looking to be a nice young team, basically starting over. We have, I believe 9 players from that first original Copper State team in 2011. So we're just looking for a very promising season.
Now you talk about these prominent returners. Talk to us about those guys. Besides you, we know you're a beast at linebacker. Who else is coming back for the final season? That's really going to put up some impressive display on the field.
Oh yeah, we got Anthony Holland, number 15. He's also a linebacker. He's been in the top of the team tackles every year. We have our dynamite defensive tackles, number 92, Big Robert Matthews. Charles Muse, 55. He's a lineman too. We have who else is coming back from the first year? I believe that's it for. Oh, and another lineman too, number 76, Byron McCarthy.
Okay, all right.
So we have a lot of solid players coming back at the veteran position.
And these new guys coming in, are they transfers? Are they freshmen mostly? What do we got there?
We have a lot of freshmen. I think we had maybe 7 transfers. We have 2 guys from Lynchburg. I believe another one came from a JUCO school. I'm not sure which one, but we have one from a JUCO.
Now
we have a few players transferring in.
Now, do you think is your team going to be more impressive on offense or on defense? Because I know 3 years ago when you won your first national title, what you guys could do on the offensive side of the ball was just remarkable. And then I felt like the second national title was really heavily based on such a strong defense. What are we going to see out of the Eagles this year?
Well, you always could expect us to have a great defense. So we just have these few key players we want to put in that system and hopefully build them and get them up to speed with the veterans. Offensively wise, we're going to be pretty good too. We have Edgar Walker, number 2, our running back. Hopefully he can get that side of the ball together and we just put points up and stop other teams scoring on us.
There you go. Score more than you give up, and that'll get you some wins. And speaking of wins, last year, like I mentioned, you were left on the outside looking in at the National Championship Bowl, despite winning your conference title. But in large part, you guys dropped the conference game earlier in the season to Maryland Eastern Shore, and that's really what hurt your chances of getting back to the National Championship game. But this new playoff system, you win your conference, you're in the mix, you're in the dance. And then the performance on the field will determine if you get into that bowl game. Has this new format motivated your guys differently and your coaches to prepare differently than they have in the past?
Yes, it definitely has. Listen, last year we was left on the outside, and that was due to our own fault. We took our opponent lightly that one game, and you can't do that. You have to prepare the same way for everybody every week. So this year, you'll see a whole new Copper State University football team, and we're going to bring hopefully a lot of good plays and good games to you guys.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a fun run watching you play football, and we wish you, the rest of your teammates, your coaches, the rest of the Eagles, best of luck in this coming season. We appreciate you taking the time to call in today.
All right, thank you.
All right, good luck.
All right.
All right, that's Muriel Muhammad, president, Coppin State Club football. Man, he's been an anchor on that defense for years. He's been around a while. Big guy. Big boy. And sure. I really like to see, I like the watching him grow and mature over the years. Before he used to be just a player. And then he became an officer, and now he's involved, and now here he is, speaking on the team's behalf on a national stage here, talking about their program.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. You got Sandy and Eric here at the NCFA. How we doing?
Doing very well, very well. Getting ready for the start of the season pretty soon.
Yeah, for those tuning in, we are talking to Scott Hoffman, the MAC coordinator, and more importantly, the director of the fall kickoff, which we'll touch base on here. Moving into it, talk to us about the concept behind the fall kickoff. What is the goal, pretty much, of the event?
Okay, basic concept. This was actually brought forth back in 2013 by my predecessor, Chris Girardi, as a
way to get teams from across the country to get to play each other who may be too far away from each other to do a traditional home-and-home setup. It gave a great experience for some new matchups, unique matchups, ones we may not normally see outside of possible playoff pairings. And this year, Sandy allowed me to work to bring it back, and it's going to be held in Baltimore this year. Got some really exciting matchups, including George Mason against Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Ohio State against Longwood, and the nightcap game, Miami of Ohio against Coppin State, which is actually a repeat of the 2012 National Championship game.
Yeah, and just to touch base on the history of the event, what year is this going to be for the event?
This will be the second year. It was started in 2013, featuring matchups. Let's see if I can remember them in order. We had Longwood against Rollins, Ohio State, Coppin State, and George Mason against Wright State. And then last year the event took a break, and this year we've got it coming back.
Yeah, and like you were saying, for this year, it's going to be held in Baltimore at Coppin State. What other locations were you considering, and why was Coppin State ultimately the place to go?
I've been looking at a few other locations, including bringing the event back to Morgantown, which is where the event was held 2 years ago. I had also looked at Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh. I had taken a survey of league coaches and players and administrators to see which sites would work best. And we had originally settled on a different site in Morgantown, but the site fell through, and Coppin State was good enough to give us their field on relatively short notice and be able to reserve the field for 3 games, which the field they use there is actually normally pretty busy with club sports and also other varsity sports.
Exactly. Well, that's going to be exciting. I know a lot of teams have been chatting about it on the Facebook page already, and it's coming up pretty quick here, which is pretty exciting stuff. So moving forward to this year, who's participating? Just talk about it a little bit, some of the big matchups, stuff that you're excited for.
Okay, well, personally, the one, and I'm a little biased here as a George Mason alum, but I'm pretty excited to see George Mason against Wisconsin-Milwaukee. You have George Mason, who was my first year there. We set a bunch of NCAA passing and receiving records, which this past year were broken by Milwaukee, so it should be a pretty high-scoring matchup. We got Ohio State against Longwood, and these two teams, like George Mason and Milwaukee, have never faced off before. I think this is Ohio State's third MAC opponent they've faced, which is, I believe, the most out-of-conference matchups any single team has taken upon themselves since NCAA started. So that'll be a fun matchup. 2 programs which I believe are on the rise right now and doing great things. And then the nightcap would be Miami of Ohio against Coppin State, which, as I said before, is a rematch of the 2012 National Championship. And I know there are some guys over in Oxford, Ohio, who are very, very keen on getting another shot at Coppin to avenge the loss they sustained a couple years ago, 3 years ago.
Good stuff, Scott. Hey, real quick, just to you went over the matchups. We know where it's going to be, when it's going to be. For those who can't attend, how can they follow at home? Will there be updates on the website or Twitter or Facebook or anything?
I'm going to be updating on Facebook through the NCFA Facebook group. I'll be posting pictures and all that. So, and also doing live score updates probably once a quarter for each game.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it. I know it's a lot of planning has gone into it, and I know you're excited for it. We're excited for it. So we appreciate you coming on board and talking about it a little bit.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Good to talk to you, Scott.
Take care. You too.
All right, that's Scott Hoffman, the MAC coordinator and fall kickoff director.
Absolutely. And wow, that was a good football segment.
Yeah.
You had some great callers. I'm going to tip my cap to Craig Budzik over there working the phones. I mean, boom, no downtime.
Behind the scenes.
Once he got through that first little jitters of the first one, he was Johnny on the spot with those callers. So, all those guys that called in, we really appreciate it. Great giving us a little insight into your programs. Hopefully next month we'll get a couple other teams on here and talk some more football.
Get some results,
and Well, I don't think we'll. I think the next Sweet 301. I'm not sure we'll have any games played yet.
We'll be closer.
So we'll be closer. We'll be hours away from kickoff.
Exactly.
Hopefully, we'll get some more teams on talking.
All right, what's next here?
I think it's time to move on to some basketball conversation. Let's get Rob Bell. Come on down. There he is.
Hey, Bob.
Look at him,
What's up?
ladies and gentlemen.
How's it going?
Not too
Welcome
bad.
to the stage, Rob Bell.
The one, the only.
All right, we're joined here with Rob Bell, Director of Basketball Development. So it's been a busy few weeks.
It
You know,
has
we talked last show about all the teams you signed in July, or the first half of July, late June. Talk to us about what's going on in basketball recruiting nowadays, since we last caught up with you.
Right. So, basketball recruiting, it just hasn't stopped. More teams are getting interested. As bigger schools are coming on in different areas, other bigger schools are finding out about this and they want in as well. A lot of new teams and a lot of teams that have been established, maybe playing as an intramural squad, and now they're coming on as a student organization, or they are a club sport now, and they want to kind of get involved in more of a competitive conference atmosphere. So it's very exciting.
Good stuff. So what teams have we signed?
Okay, so I have a list here, 18 of them, so stick with me here. So we got Michigan, Michigan State, Western Michigan, Ohio State, Bowling Green, Assumption, Cornell, Harvard, South Carolina, UNC Wilmington, Georgia, North Carolina State, Western Iowa Tech, Maryville University, Wittenberg, Lehigh, Lafayette, Rowan. That's right down the line there.
Right there. Well, which ones have you signed since the last Sweet 301?
Since last week, 301, we've added UGA, University of Georgia, Bulldogs, and we've added Maryville University in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, excellent. And who else do we have on the docket that seems to be expressing interest in coming on board?
Right, so verbals, I have St. Joe's, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Skidmore, SUIC, and Wake Forest.
So those, now to explain to the viewers out there, a verbal commitment means they said, hey, we're in. You say, here's the paperwork to make that official, and they're working on the paperwork, right?
Right, so a lot of the verbals are, whether they're working on the paperwork or the paperwork's on the way, kind of thing.
Right.
And then some interested teams I have are Pitt, Shippensburg, Old Dominion, VMI, High Point, and Vermont.
Excellent. So still more recruiting to be. We're not done.
We're not done.
We're getting close to scheduling time, but we're not done with the recruiting. But we're kind of in the ninth inning. We're on the final lap of the recruiting process. So
absolutely
good. Seeing some good results here, so that's good.
For sure.
Talk to us about the scheduling. We're getting to that point. Scheduling request forms go out. Explain to the viewers what that means and how the schedule process goes.
So schedule request forms came out this past Friday. So basically your schedule request form is just letting us know, hey, we're available these weekends. We're not available these weekends. We can play home these, we can play away these, or we can play either of these.
Right.
So it just kind of goes through. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It's very simple to run. And you want to be aware of your obviously your finals, your Thanksgiving break, your Christmas break, things like that. But it's pretty self-explanatory, and there's also, with the schedule request form, there's an example. So if you're having some issues or having some troubles, there is that example there, and then you can always give me a call or your conference coordinator a call. It's not a big deal.
Now, one of the things, it's the same format we use for football scheduling, baseball, softball scheduling, etc.
Right.
And it works really well for us. That's why we continue it through. One of the biggest things people will say is we have access to the varsity baseball field this weekend. Put it on your scheduling request form. Same thing here goes. We got access to the varsity basketball arena for this weekend only. That's awesome. Put it on your scheduling request form. Highlight it, star it, put it in bold. We're going to do everything we can to make sure you're scheduled at home that weekend.
Right.
That said, it's also important to be flexible. I mean, the more flexible you can be with your scheduling request form, if there's really no reason for you to be home or away, give us that either option because,
Absolutely. And some teams, too, are, newer teams have expressed, hey, we're not sure if we're going to be ready for that, November 1st to finals mark. And, that's not a super big deal. If you aren't and you kind of want to play your conference schedule starting when you come back in the spring semester, not a big issue. We've had a lot of new teams join on, so I've heard it a lot. But some teams want to play in that, the first couple weeks there when it first starts and, absolutely, get some conference games out of the way, basically.
Right. Absolutely. And when is the due date for the scheduling request form?
Scheduling request forms are due September the 1st. So it's coming up. It's not too far away, but it still gives you probably almost 2 weeks here.
A form that takes 5 minutes to fill out.
A form that takes 5 minutes to fill out. Best recommendation is get together with a couple guys in your team. Pull up your football schedules, pull up your home basketball schedules. Whatever's important at your
Look up
school.
when spring break is.
Right. Things like that. Just be smart about it. You'll know when dates are, and if football is big at your school, or ice hockey, whatever. Make sure you kind of.
The more detailed, the better.
The more detailed, the better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and you want to take those things into account because ultimately, if you say, "Hey, April 2nd weekend we can play away," and March 15th rolls around and you're like April 2nd is we're on spring break.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
You said you could play at home. We scheduled it out 6 months in advance.
Right.
So
And
look into all that stuff.
One of the things too, I was talking to one of the teams, and that the season officially starts November 1st, and I said, well, if you look at your football schedules, and if you're Michigan and that first weekend Michigan's playing Michigan State at Michigan, you guys probably don't want to play basketball that weekend, just because of the football rivalry.
Right.
I would take a pretty good guess that you probably won't have anyone come to your basketball game.
Right.
Or anyone show up to play.
Yeah.
So
We don't take offense to that.
Right.
Good
No, I mean,
better for you to know, for us to know.
exactly.
So.
Right. Good stuff. Now, you've also been working on putting together a fall tournament. Do we have any details to report on that progress?
Right, so the fall tournament I've been looking at hosting at Western Michigan University. It's in Kalamazoo. Best way to describe the location is basically southwest Michigan. It's in a pretty good spot as far as teams in the Great Lakes region, teams over in the Midwest. It's not too far from Chicago. It's about 3.5 hours from Chicago or so. So it's not super far. We're gonna do a round robin, 8 teams. Looking at dates of November the 7th and the 8th. But definitely keep out looking for emails from me on the website, and as soon as that's all been confirmed and set in stone, I'll release it to you guys.
Excellent.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt
Yeah.
you. As the Wilson guy,
Right.
and the basketball guy,
Right.
I want to chat equipment forms. Real quick, shout out real quick when they're going to be expecting them, what it is.
Sure. Thanks, Eric, for that.
No
Appreciate
problem.
that. Basketball order forms looking at September 1st.
Yep.
So
basketball.
watch your emails. Basically, it's another simple thing that'll take you literally 2 minutes to fill out. Name, address, where you want them sent to, and boom, you get your basketballs to you. Obviously your 4 Wilson Evolution basketballs with the NCBBA logo shield on them.
Yep. Have to use them in your games.
Have to use them in your games, so you can use them in practice. Whatever you want to do, but make sure they're in games for sure.
Excellent. Lastly, how do people contact you if they're at home saying, I want to start a club basketball team, my basketball team wants to get involved? How do they get a hold of you?
Right, so best way to get a hold of me is my number is 412-321-8440, extension 105, or my email is simply just my name. It's rob.bell@coldclubsports.com.
All right, good stuff. All right, that concludes our basketball segment for this month.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Appreciate it, Rob.
No
Take
problem.
See you soon.
See ya.
Care. All right, what do we got next?
Let's keep this train rolling. I believe we're going to talk to Savannah Aarons, talk a little spring training, a little softball.
Yep. All right, we can get Savannah Aarons on the line, VP of Softball
Hello.
Operations. There she is.
Sav, how we doing?
What's going on?
You got Saint and Eric here. How we doing?
Good.
You've been
Good,
pretty
good.
busy lately, huh?
So busy. People
Yeah?
think that the summer's like slow time for us. They're wrong.
I think it's kind of the opposite, actually.
There is no slow time.
Well, yeah, that too, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, you've been crazy busy. Let's talk some softball. You want to chat realignment and maybe some schedules?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for softball, yeah, we've done tons of realignment, and at least 50% of the schedules have already been released. So lots of teams out there already know their schedule. The rest of them, the majority of them, besides the teams that play in the spring, will be released by the end of this week. We just got the Mid-America and the South Atlantic to go. So working on getting those out.
What were the big changes in realignment, if there were any?
There were a ton. So almost every region except for the SOPAC so far has been affected, and the SOPAC probably will be as well, was affected by realignment, whether it's just adding new teams or moving teams around. We had so many new teams come in this year that we had to actually add an additional conference in the South Atlantic region, so that region is now a 4-conference region. making it all the more competitive to win that first place spot in your conference, because there is no at-large bid to that regional playoff anymore. And this all attributes to the growth of the league and how big we're getting, which is awesome. It's just the realignments filter down, and we're growing so much in the New England, North Atlantic area that realignment, is taking place everywhere. So.
Yeah, and you kind of said it yourself. It's certainly not a bad problem by any means.
No.
The league is obviously growing, and you're doing a great job bringing on new teams, and teams are staying around. So, obviously, you're going to have to realign and, find the best ways to get every team close to each other, as least travel as possible. So, you're doing a great job. And, you said the schedules were out. What do these teams need to be doing right now that will be playing games, in the coming weeks or months?
The team preview forms went out today. So those will be due back. Those are due back September 1st. Make sure you get that into your regional director. Those are going to be really important for the top 15 poll voters. That's how they're going to determine who they placed in that top 15 for that first preseason poll. The roster submission process forms, those will be sent out later this week. So teams should keep an eye out for those. I mean, it's crazy, but we're going to be playing softball a month from now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's, and your equipment forms. Craig sent those out. There are already 24 teams that we've scheduled for that first week. So literally a month from now, at least 24 teams will need their softball. So, teams, make sure you get that back to Craig so he can have plenty of time to get those out to you. So super important to be doing that.
Absolutely. As we touched on before, even those teams that, aren't playing, that first weekend, you want to get in as soon as possible. You never know what happens with inventory issues, or maybe you just want them for practice, or, anything of that nature. Get them in ASAP. They take 2 minutes to fill out. So just get them in. Looking towards fall tournaments, what do you guys got going on this fall?
Kate Crossman's actually hosting the first ever Keystone State Showdown. And for those that didn't know, Pennsylvania is known as the Keystone State.
Wow.
There you go.
So it's the Keystone State Showdown, and it's actually being held in Danville, Pennsylvania, where we had the North Atlantic and the New England regional playoffs last year. So, lots of, history there, big history there. We've got, 8 teams that already saw it, and we've already got, we only have 3 spots in that tournament left. It's the weekend of October 2nd through 4th. So week 3 of the season. Like I said, 3 spots left, so if your team's interested and you're not already signed up, definitely contact me and I'll put you in contact with Kate.
Awesome. Hey, let's move towards spring training, my favorite time of year. What's going on with spring training? What's the latest, any updates or anything like that?
5 minutes ago, I got our first team registered, Indiana.
Nice.
Of course, it's Indiana.
Didn't even know
come
that.
every year.
We're good.
So we're pumped about that, and like I said, at this point, is when registration starts flowing in. I mean, teams have asked, are you going to fill up this year? And I'm like, I can't tell you if we are or not. It's very possible because we were, one team away from filling up last year, so definitely wouldn't want to turn any teams away, and make sure you guys get your paperwork in ASAP. Now that you're back on campus and things like that, it should be easy to get this paperwork taken care of.
Yeah, I didn't catch if you mentioned the deadline, November 15th. You might have.
No.
But
no, not yet.
Yeah, teams got to get that before that. You can save some money. Not to mention, like you were saying, you just want to get it in just to secure your spot. It could fill up. It very easily could. We only have so much space, so much time in the day to play baseball. So get those in ASAP. You want to contact Savannah, myself, or Dan, who you're going to meet in a little bit here, and we'll get that going for you. All right, Sav. Well, I think that's all I got for you. You got anything real quick you want to add or anything?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm ready for it to be March.
Yeah, me too.
Let's go.
Yeah, we got a way to go, though.
Sounds good.
Awesome. See you, Sav.
All right, bye.
All right.
All right.
All right, that was Savannah Aarons, VP of Softball Ops, VP of Spring Training Operations.
Not last but not least.
Not
Excuse
last.
me. Let's bring on Christian.
On
He's
some
not good enough.
Let's talk some baseball. What do you say?
Not good enough to be last yet.
Let's do it.
The Pirates are winning some baseball games. Let's talk some baseball. Why not?
Buccos, baby.
In case you don't know who this is, that's Christian Smith.
How are you guys?
How was your vacation?
It was wonderful. I almost said delicious. It was wonderful.
Christian just returned. Christian, the only person in the office that gets to go on vacation around here.
Yep.
The only
Well,
one
it's my year.
It's his year, yeah.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
year.
Quick.
that-
Yeah. We do a lottery around here. Who gets to take a week off?
So it was good. It was relaxing. I'm
Congrats.
back. I'm catching up on things.
We're,
And
nice
we're gonna watch
little forward to
slideshows later
Yeah.
of all the pictures.
Yep.
Slideshows.
we get them up on the TV.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk some baseball.
Let's do it.
I personally, I love realignment. You know, Savannah
I know you
talked a
do.
little bit about realignment. We had a big conference call. The man was working on his vacation. Conference calls into the office, probably from a lounge chair somewhere with his laptop on his lap,
The glass of water.
with
Yep.
a glass of water.
Yes.
And we had a realignment conference call. And there's a lot of teams coming on board, especially in the Division II. A lot of teams moving up from D2 to D1.
Yep.
And so there's realignment going on to make room for all this stuff.
Yes.
All these people. Some people don't realize the fact that it really doesn't work well if you get more than 6 teams in a conference.
Yeah.
It really doesn't work well. Down south, sometimes you can get away with it. Getting away with 7. You can't just put 10, 12 teams in a conference. It's not varsity baseball. We don't have the ability to make that happen. So realignment is inevitable, and it's a good thing. So we had some fun in our realignment discussions. Why don't you talk to us about some of the things that may be coming down the pipeline or have already been decided as official?
And I'll first start with Division One, just because it's the easier of the divisions to realign. If I can find my sheet. Not a lot has happened. I mean, didn't really need to happen. We do need to do realignment in the Northern Pacific region, and there'll be some in the Southern Pacific region. But right now, it's not really that pressing to get that done, just because their season doesn't start till the spring. So we'll be working on that shortly. But as far as new teams coming up from Division II to Division One, we've had quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 teams, which is a good thing.
Right.
Like a lot more than usual.
Yeah, yeah.
6
And
very deserving teams,
very
quality
deserving.
teams.
That all fit into Division One. That's Notre Dame, who's since they've joined the league has been just a fantastic club baseball program. They're moving into the Great Lakes South Conference. That makes the Great Lakes 3 conferences of 6 teams, which is a goal of ours. We have 3 D2 to D1 teams coming into the Mid-America region, which needed some teams in it. Minnesota State University Moorhead, which was a D2 team that made back-to-back World Series appearances. Colorado Mesa University, which had 2 programs on campus, and they moved one of their programs up to Division One. And then just today, we made official Colorado School of Mines. They also moved up from D2 to D1. They were another team that very deserving, but made back-to-back World Series appearances. Really excited to see them play in the Mid-America West Conference. In the Mid-Atlantic, we've added 2. UNC Wilmington, who's been a fantastic program the last few years, made the World Series, D2 World Series this past year. Really does well in the fall during our fall tournament. They're going to be moving into the Mid-Atlantic South Conference. Also, Eastern Kentucky University, 2015
champs. Yeah.
Division II national champions. They're moving up to the Mid-Atlantic West Conference, going to be another great addition to the Mid-Atlantic. And then last but not least, SUNY Brockport, a team, again, made back-to-back World Series appearances only in their 3rd year. This is going into their 3rd year in existence as a club program, so that shows you how, from top to bottom, how great of a program they are. They'll be moving up to the North Atlantic West Conference. So really excited about those moves. It just shows, that Division II is kind of doing its job, where it's developing these teams, and they're once they've reached their peak at Division II, they're moving up to Division I. So we're excited to see those moves, and excited to see those teams compete at the Division I level. As far as Division II goes, like Sandy said, I just got back into the office from vacation. We did have a great conference call. We have several different scenarios. There's
some crazier than others.
One of the proposed realignments is titled Crazy. So we have a lot of things.
And it's being supported.
So we have a lot of things on the table. Honestly, if I went through it all, it would just be more confusing. It would take a lot of time. So Eric and I will be sitting down tomorrow and we're looking at those different, if you want to call them proposals, each separately and kind of figuring out what's best and maybe put some proposals together and moving some things around. So tomorrow, unless something catastrophic happens, we will have Division II realignments done. The big thing is we need to get conference schedules out. I know you have the schedule request forms out and have collected the majority of them.
Exactly. I've been getting a lot of questions. When's our schedule coming out? Well, the first big step is realigning it because I need to know who you're playing and how many teams are in your conference. So
just
once it's realigned, it'll take me a matter of a day or two just to
get conferences schedules out. So
later this week, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully having conference schedules out. Thank you for your patience. A big, was me being on vacation and not being able to really sit down. But we will get those out. Again, thank you for your patience. Stay tuned. But like I said, tomorrow we should have those completed.
And just to give the viewers some insight into some of the realignment goals, like I mentioned, our goal is to keep it. We want to avoid 7 teams in a conference, especially north of Florida, basically.
North of Mexico.
North of Mexico. Yeah, we want to keep away from that. At the same time, we really want to avoid 3-team conferences. We try to avoid 4-team conferences.
Yep.
We also had to forecast potential growth with other teams possibly coming on board, making room for the future. So it's not always just about today. It's about what's to come. We try to keep it to districts of 3 divisions within a district, if possible.
Yep.
So, but with growth, it becomes the inevitable. We gotta go to the 4
which is
division
why
district.
D2 is so much harder to do than D1 because there's always so much changing. You get new teams, you get teams going up to D1, so there's always variables in the play. That's why it takes.
But you also see at the Division I level, it's pretty stable. Like I said, it's really Northern Pacific needs realigned, maybe Southern Pacific a little bit, and with the Division III coming along in the pipeline, hopefully that'll stabilize Division II where it's not as much realignment, but that's kind of down the future. But as of present day right now, there's quite a bit in Division II, but we will knock all that out. Manana.
All right, sounds good.
And and the only other thing, I know we talked about conference schedules. I believe North Atlantic schedules, I just reviewed those. Rob Perkey has put those together. They look pretty good. Those should be out this week. And I know Craig's working on the Great Lakes. That should be coming out maybe this week, early next week. We'll be working on that as well. So those 2 regions in Division I, look out for those conference schedules. As far as the districts, as soon as realignment takes place, we'll get all those conference schedules out. Last thing I want to mention, the updated rules. I'm hoping to have those out early next week as well. Those are the rules that the fully updated ones for 2016. Hope to have those out very shortly as well.
Excellent.
All right.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Anything else?
Get out of here.
Thank you, guys.
See ya. I know you got work to do. You got catching up to do.
I know.
I saw your phone. You have 47 missed calls.
Yeah.
In a span of an hour.
All right. We're almost done here, but let's introduce him to the new guy.
The Rook.
Let's bring the rookie on the set. Let's go.
What do you say, Dan? How we doing?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, we're now entering the set. Your screenshot. This is Dan Grassi. Grossi.
That's why he's
Grassi.
Yeah.
There you go.
Guy.
It is Dan, right?
Yeah.
Done. Dan.
I hope so.
Dean Grassi.
Oh, man. Broke the chair.
He's been harassing me for the last 2 days because I kept mispronouncing his last name, and I went way the other direction. All right. So this is Dan. Say hi, Dan.
How's it going, guys?
Dan's been brought on. This is what, your second day? Third.
Second day.
And he's going to be our new sports information director. You're going to see him as a sponsor account manager. He's going to be involved in the D2 side of baseball. He's going to be involved in basketball. Really, the most prominent thing with that sports information director stuff, you're going to see him all over social media. Everybody in every league is going to get to know him and his tweets and his pictures and everything he gets out to you. And this is going to be the last. I've been filling in for the last couple months, putting the show together, and this will be my last one because next month This is our new show producer for Sweet 301.
Looking forward to that.
Tell us a little bit about you. Where'd you come from?
I'm from Long Island, New York, so about 6 hours south of Pittsburgh, and
South
of Pittsburgh?
Let's try that again.
southeast.
Northeast. All right, he's not our geography
Yeah.
guy. He is not on the realignment committee.
But I'm a recent graduate of Brockport, and I actually am a co-founder of the Brockport club team, as well as I pitched, and I was also the assistant coach. And they recently, like Christian said, they got moved up to Division I. They're all looking forward to that.
Because of you.
Yeah, I guess. But we're missing out on some players, JT Rice, Ryan Van Patten, but we still have some young guns that I think are going to lead the team. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to working with the team here at Call Club Sports and doing whatever I can to increase the exposure amongst the group.
It's been good working with you the last 2 days. You can see, he's hungry. He's eager. You can see it in his eyes.
My geography is not there yet, but I'll get
It'll
used
get
to it.
there. It'll get there.
I'm gonna have to check that map out.
So, what are the, running Sweet 301 is one of the big portion of your job. Big goals in your job is to run Sweet 301. What else? Other aspects are you excited to get involved with?
Looking forward to getting more callers in and a lot of more viewers to attend to the show, so we could answer some more questions, and just making the viewing process a lot better. Trying to get more people and tuning into the show.
All right. Well, we're excited to have you on, and can't wait to see what you bring to the table. We're gonna teach him how we do things for a couple weeks. Then we're gonna let him show us how to do it better. So he just spread his wings. We're gonna let this birdie fly from the nest.
Oh yeah.
See what he does.
All while we learn his last name.
Exactly.
Thank you.
All right, good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Thanks, appreciate it. All right, that's Dan.
All right, well,
Grassi.
Dan G. See you later.
It's either Grossi, Grassi, or Grassy.
I don't think it's grassy. We could probably scratch that one off. All right, well, let's get out of here, huh? You want to close it up?
Yeah, let's do this. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Sweet 301, definitely all the callers that called in for football related. Awesome stuff. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Next episode produced by Mr. Grassy, September 15th, 2015, 3:01 Eastern Time. You can find a recording at www.ustream.tv/channel/Sweet301.
Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Follow all the league excitement going on, and we will see you next time. Oh, by the way,
it's a game. Have fun. All right.
All right. Cool.
Anybody else hear my chair?